As Elon Musk says, there is horrible danger that we might face and no one is talking about it. But let's start from the beginning. Often, TV shows depict little robots doing the unpleasant mundanities for humanity. As the time comes closer and closer to that being true, people are understandably excited. But is there a darker side to all this that we're not considering? No, not a war as dramatic as Terminator, but something a lot more subtle and a lot more insidious, according to Musk. One of the things he warned us about when it comes to the potential of AI was the loss of jobs. According to the Tesla CEO, the first jobs to disappear would be transportation, taxi drivers and lorry drivers, but it wouldn't end there. In fact, Musk warned that during the World Artificial Intelligence Conference held in Shanghai, the robots would be able to do literally everything better than humans. Be it mental or physical, a robot, for instance, can learn to walk from scratch in only a few hours, much faster than a human. And whilst AI experts thought it would be a good 20 years before an AI could beat a human being at Go in 2017, in a game that is supposedly more complex than chess, as Musk stated to the National Governors Association at the time, what will happen is that robots will be able to do everything far better than humans. The Tesla CEO theorizes that shortly after the robots begin taking all the jobs, the only job a human being will be able to do is AI programming, and even then, that would only hold out until the software becomes clever enough to program itself. The Tesla CEO says that finding a job that focuses on human-to-human interactions will be the longest-standing jobs, suggesting scientific and engineering fields. Other experts agree with Elon Musk's analysis. The Time magazine reporting that in the absence of humans in the workplace, many jobs were replaced by AI in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. A study by Brookings Institution was published titled Automation and Artificial Intelligence: How Machines Are Affecting People and Places. And it had some worrying statistics to share. 36% of America's employment, that being around 52 million jobs available in 2016, will experience what it calls medium exposure to automation by 2030. 39%, or around 57 million jobs, will experience low exposure. This means that many jobs will potentially have chunks of them carved out and taken out of human hands by AI by the time 2030 rolls around. However, as Elon Musk says, that might not even be the worst part of all of this. Musk claims that the scariest thing about the potential for AI is what he calls a deep intelligence in the network, which most people aren't scared of at this point because most aren't quite sure what that means. But Musk stated to a bipartisan gathering of US governors that AI would be able to start a war by doing fake news and spoofing email accounts and doing fake press releases and by manipulating information. Musk warns that having been exposed to AI, people are not nearly concerned enough by its potential, and that we must act proactively to regulate it before the technology reaches that level. So if AI is advancing so quickly and reaching points where it could potentially take all of our jobs, why don't we stop it? Why would we allow this to happen? Well, believe it or not, there are some arguments as to why this might be a good thing. As automation and advances in industrialization in the past allowed humans to partake in more hobbies and free time rather than just work and sleep, AI taking over our jobs does have the potential for the concept of work to be taken out of our hands entirely. It's a crazy idea, but every single job done by a human could be performed faster and more effectively by a machine. Then we wouldn't even have the Futurama-style future of humans and robots working alongside each other, but rather, humans would be taking a collective holiday as robots work in the factories, produce our food, and do the grocery shopping. Elon Musk has gone on record saying that he thinks a universal basic income would be the result of all this, telling CNBC in 2017, "I'm not sure what else one would do. I think that is what would happen. A universal basic income is the concept that every adult citizen in the country would be given a living wage regardless of whether or not they work, with the parameters of UBI being as follows according to the Basic Income Earth Network. 1. It must be given in periodic payments. 2. It must be a cash payment, not coupons or vouchers. 3. Paid to every adult, not just every household. 4. It must be paid to all citizens, regardless of situation. And 5. It must be unconditionally paid out." UBI has been discussed amongst many European countries, particularly in Norway and Finland, with the aim to reduce poverty and increase quality of life amongst its citizens. However, the idea has been flirted with by many countries beyond that, such as the Freedom Dividend Plan in America in 2020. It has been argued by its supporters that UBI would support freedom. help communities who need it, and fight inhumane working conditions by giving workers another option to being treated disgracefully. It could also help the problem of our encroaching population collapse, which we spoke about in another episode. As a big reason, young couples have been quoted for not having children is the fact that they are not financially stable enough to do so. Finland conducted an experiment around basic income in 2018, finding around 2,000 randomly selected unemployed citizens and giving them €560 a month. They then reported improvements on their health and mental well-being. The most interesting part of this experiment was that the amount given to them as a universal basic income was only €50 more than what they would have gotten on unemployment benefits, with the major difference to their well-being seeming to come from their lack of reporting with the state to receive it. It is also worth noting that the main counter-arguments to UBI come from those who say it would be too expensive for those who work to subsidize those who don't through taxes, or more colloquially, that it isn't fair that some people have to work and some don't. However, with the concept that a universal basic income is enacted in response to AI taking human jobs, the main counter-argument against it becomes moot. After all, if only robots work, then technically it is the robots paying the taxes to subsidize the humans, and they probably won't mind doing that. So all in all, what is to be said about the concept of AI taking human jobs in the future? Well, like most technological advancements, it has the potential for good and for ill. Like Musk noted, if done right, it could bring forward an age of work-free paradise. But if done wrong, the results could be nothing short of catastrophic. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Until next time.